Welcome back to the Jordan episode of the Pariah Podcast. We're talking episode 23. We're here, we're live. There's no Premier League football this week, but the international break is fully upon us, and that's also peak boredom. So today we're going to be doing a lot
Yep.
of waffling, a lot of unproductive discussion, but on Pariah Podcast, all our discussion is productive. On the docket for today, we're going to discuss international topics, who we favor in the Euros, who we think should be starting for England, who we think should be coming to Germany on that England bus. We're also going to preview probably the biggest game, not just of next weekend, but probably the
The
season that's
season.
left. City Arsenal. That's going to happen on March 31st. We've had that date circled on our calendars for some time now. And I just want to start before all of that to give a quick shout out to the three letters on Adeel's jersey below me,
Ooh.
USA, who prevailed against Mexico in the Nations League final. It's becoming a pretty regular thing, the US dominating Mexico. I think this is the third year in a row where we're beating Mexico in the final to win. So that's pretty impressive from us.
I would not.
Uh,
I would not know.
yeah, look, gun to my head. If you asked me to name the lineup yesterday or anything that happened besides the two goals, I could not tell you. But none of that matters because we got the W, baby.
Let's
Woo!
go.
This is
Uh,
a
USA,
this is a
USA,
shameless
USA.
American celebration.
yeah, that's right. Dude, there's nothing I want in this life than to be part of a genuine USA chant, bro. Like, can you
Nah.
imagine?
Yeah.
Like, imagine when they like got Saddam, the vibes on the streets in Miami. They were probably going crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. We need to win a
Yo,
World Cup or
your
something.
your analogies are getting out of hand, dude. You gotta.
It's North London forever, and then it's USA for me. I don't know.
Let's
So
go.
now that that's out of the way, listen, huge international tournament this summer. We have the Euros coming. Um, the Euros are always a bit of a weird one because I feel like the 2 year gap you have between the World Cup,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it allows for way too much to change. Like, if you ask all of us here today to predict the winner of the Euros in December
Mhm.
2022, it'd be very different, I think, from the discussion we're going to have today. But with that being said, just like super quickly, I want everyone one by one to go by and tell me who you think is going to win the Euros. Okay, so I'll start off.
Mhm.
I think personally, Germany's going to do it.
Wow.
Nibir, I want you to go next.
I think England's gonna take it home.
Okay, Faris,
Yeah, I think England gets it.
Adeel.
It's not coming home, man. Germany's winning.
Yes, sir.
Where
Look,
did this
look.
Germany hype come from, dude? Just
Listen,
because they're
Yeah.
hosting?
I think hosting has a big impact on any tournament, to be honest. Like, I think the biggest example I've ever seen of that in my life is like you look at the 2010 World Cup.
Hmm.
Mm.
South Africa beat Mexico, bro. If in Dr. Strange simulations, there's one outcome out of 10 million where that happened, and it's when South Africa hosts, right? And like you put a competent team and you give them home court, it's
Mm.
it's very likely. And there's two studs on that team with the tertiary stud in Jamal
Stop it.
Musiala, Florian Wirtz, and my guy Kai Havertz. And I think the ingredients are there for greatness.
When
That's,
Nagelsmann said, he's playing striker again, that's when I knew, like, wait a
dude,
minute,
I
they're
got off
taking it
my feet. I
seriously.
literally stood up. I saw the notification on my phone. I stood up. I was like, I think we're here. Adeel, what do you think? Same reasons or?
I mean, just to go back to that point you made, while I am on the same page with you about Germany, I think that there's two sides to that coin. And you look at Brazil 2014. I mean, that was
Mm.
supposed to be a
The
fairy tale.
pressure.
Pressure can get to them. I think the only people like I think they can be their own enemies in that tournament. If
Mhm.
they give into that, they really made a statement against France the other day, and I think honestly, if I wasn't gonna say Germany's winning, I was gonna say France can take it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I wanted to ask. Why did we all just move
Yeah,
over
I don't know.
France? What
Maybe because we're
changed?
all hipsters. I don't know. France probably is the most obvious answer just because they have one
Like one
guy.
one friendly can't dictate our whole opinion here, right?
The thing is, though, the one thing that I've never been convinced about that really showed in that game is France's defense. the names on
Mm.
that list, oh, they all look good. They have all like really nice cards on FIFA, but in practice, that back four is a joke. Like I don't trust any back four that has Daya Upamecano leading it. You look at Kunde, I think he got hurt, but like
Mm.
unconvincing when he's not playing for Barca. Their left back, very worrying position. It just doesn't fill me with confidence. And I think the number one thing we learned even in Qatar is like defense is probably the most important thing in these international tournaments because you don't have time to work out systems. You don't have time to figure out how to press. You just need dudes who could stand up 1v1 and win tackles. And I don't think France has that.
But I also think they might have the most individual quality. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that.
Oh yeah.
And I know Mbappe carries that.
100%.
Dembele carries that. They have like ballers. And I feel like sometimes that can be
Wait.
enough
What
too.
did you just say Dembele's name? That
I
guy,
like
He had a good
guy,
game. He had a good friendly.
he had a
last
good game. He had a
he
good
had a
game.
good friendly, but when it matters most, he's up there
Yeah.
with Gonzalo Higuain and Lautaro Martinez and
Don't
selling.
worry, bro. They're not gonna put all the pressure on Ousmane Dembele's shoulders, bro. There's enough guys on that team to carry the job. But he's
I think-
talented. I'm just
I
saying,
think
like they got talented
Dembele,
players.
outside of a Barcelona jersey, might be one of my favorite players of all time.
Wow.
Wait, who? Dembele? Oh,
When he's not wearing the blue and red stripes,
Yeah,
He's
no, maybe,
he's my guy.
maybe. Dude, like no one ever talks about it, but like he was £100 million player at
Yeah,
one point in his
Yeah.
career. Like
that's
and
wild.
I think like it's just one of the biggest disappointments ever, even though you look at probably his stats when he retires, he has a World Cup, he has multiple league titles. He's probably
Yeah.
gonna end up with the Champions League at some point. Like, I don't know.
I want
But
to go back to your Germany and your defense point because I do think Germany is also a bit lopsided towards attack. I was
Mhm.
looking again at some of the names they're playing in their back line, like Bundesliga, like relegation zone players. Like I've
Hmm.
never heard of them holding it down. Maybe it was just a friendly. They didn't. Some people are hurt, some people are injured. I don't know. But again, maybe that might be the story of this tournament, that there's a lot of attacking quality and not the best defensive quality. I don't know. But Germany are fun to watch. They're definitely fun to watch.
yeah, and I don't know. The three of the players I highlighted, they're all young. You know, that probably counts against them. They haven't done it on an international stage. But I see things like, oh, Cruz coming back. And it
Yeah.
feels like something's cooking. It feels like the nation's on the same page, you know, that they're like, let's put everything aside and let's go hoop. And when that happens, man, special things can happen. But I want you two to make a case for what you said. Because England and
On
international tournaments,
I have one last thing.
not
though.
matching.
Do you think a tactician can lead a national team? Like what we think of Nagelsmann versus just like a man manager like Southgate? Like, does he have enough time to teach that team what he wants? Right now, it seems likely they played like a lot of good fluid
They've
football
had
against France.
time, though. I think for a long time, the pressure to win now hasn't been on Germany because they've dropped the ball so much in the recent
Yeah.
past that I think it's afforded Nagelsmann more time than he would normally have to be like, hey
Yeah.
guys, we're not winning right now. Let's use these friendlies, let's use these international breaks to figure out something for later. This Germany team definitely feels like more of a project than a lot of the other international teams feel like to me. And I don't know when they have their internal deadlines, but the Euro seems like a fantastic target to hit as a host nation.
Yeah, like a debut almost of like this new
Exactly.
team.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think on Germany's side, I feel like Germany as a country is so nationalistic. I feel like the players have this mindset. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, other countries don't have that, and these players can lock in, put it up, put their performances up for their
Yeah.
country, and I feel like that'd be a huge plus for them as well. But
I
on
wanted
terms of
to-
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna move on to England, but you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue with England is I think with any team, international or club level, it starts at the manager. And I just do not believe in Southgate. And I think that you can put any lineup in front of him, but if you don't have the wrong guy on the sideline, you're not going to win the tournament. And that's what I truly feel about Southgate. I think that they're not going to win a major competition until they get rid of that guy.
Yeah,
Do you
and
not think that Southgate has been somewhat like successful in his sense of like his first tournament was that 2018 World Cup where he went to the semifinals, right? And then next tournament is Euros where he loses on penalties. And then last year he gets knocked out in the quarters by France, like last World Cup, I mean.
I hear
Right.
Like
you,
I know
but
his standard is winning always, but like I don't know if there's maybe a better manager available for the England setup that could reach those same. Well,
But
I
I
don't know.
look at the squad, and England as a squad with the players, with the level of talent in the country has been skyrocketing the
Yeah,
past 7, 8 years. And so Southgate's been inheriting like a golden squad that he's not meeting the expectations of. I think if you
that's
compare
true.
the manager before him, that guy wasn't working with as much as Southgate is. And I think that, the one thing as an international manager you don't get is time. We were just talking about
Yeah.
that with Goldsman. If you can't make things happen quickly, it's almost not even worth it. Even if
And that's
it
funny because Southgate's gotten a lot of time too.
Yeah, yeah.
Respectively, he's gotten like 6, 7 years.
ridiculous amount of time. And I
Yeah.
think on that front, like to Adil's point, this this squad is, I mean, we're gonna go into it in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But this squad is ridiculous. And I think the worst kind of paradox a fan could fall into is this thing of, oh, uh, we don't know if getting rid of him will be an improvement, right? Like,
Right.
bro, scared money won't make money. I'm telling you. Like, I've been there as a fan of a team that stuck with a coach longer than it should have in the past, and that mindset is gonna hold you back always. I'm telling you, bro. You gave each of us a run with this England squad. We could probably make a World Cup semifinal. And let's put these results into context. That semifinal they made it to, they lost to a Croatia team being led by a 36-year-old, right?
Yeah,
That
One
final
of the
they lost,
all-time greats.
but he was one player, and you have
Yeah.
this team, right? That Euros final they lost on penalties. They were up and couldn't
Yeah.
manage the game, right? And you look at the most recent World Cup, again, like going out to France, who was the
Yeah.
eventual finalist. That game, I think all of us could see France didn't look like an inevitable force that was impossible to overcome. And we saw that in the final, right? That Argentina team that beat them was not the most well-coached team ever, right? It
Mhm.
required some very fortunate events to go their
No,
way.
you make a good point too. In those initial tournaments, like I think that's when your point of Southgate now being the best like tactician is good because like Croatia, worst team, but like they were coached so well to beat a team like that. Italy, like talent was really bad, coached well enough to win that. So
But I'll
that's true.
say the time he's been given, it's too late. You cannot fire the coach now and expect to go do something at this Euros. Did that conversation
Oh, for sure.
should have been
Definitely not
had
this.
a year ago.
No one's getting fired now.
And I mean, the other thing I wanted to say is we talked about the past 3 tournaments, the 3 failures, into 3 European sides. All 3 of them are still there. There's still problems. And I don't see those being any easier to overcome. I don't see England beating France at an international level anytime soon. And I mean, if I don't imagine England will fall short to a team at the same quality of Croatia or even Italy, but the fact that it's happened at the 2018 World Cup, at the Euros, who's going to be the next Croatia? I still feel like there can be a Croatia or England at the Euros. Whereas when you look at Germany, when you look at France, I don't see either of those 2 teams going down to anybody but each other.
Do we think that Southgate's problem is strictly like tactics, like how he's setting the team up, who he's playing, or is it like a deeper problem with England?
I
Is a combination of things?
I have a category of managers I really despise in my head. And it's composed of 2 guys, Ten Hag and Southgate. And
Oh my god.
That's
both of those
insane.
guys,
The future of Man United.
Yeah.
both of those guys are like weirdly worshipped for being really mediocre. And like the second thing I don't like about them is both of them think that this is all about them. And they really involve themselves way more than they need to. As an international manager, I should barely know who you are because you shouldn't be making your way into the media every week. You should just be picking a side that I get to focus on and not making things about
Exactly, yeah.
both of those
Just
guys.
pick the best available. It's not that
Dude,
hard.
I
I
think
don't read about you. I don't know who France's manager is. Being straight up, I don't know because I don't ever have to read
Hey,
about
clip that.
this
it. You know, like,
No, but
exactly.
you know what? To his point, I think one of my favorite international managers of all time is Del Bosque. who coached that 2010 Spain World Cup win. I think if
Yeah.
you ask 90% of football
Yeah,
fans
yeah.
today, they could not tell you his name because he sat there, let the hoopers hoop, and
Yeah.
and just was there. I think Southgate, because like I don't even think he is as bad of a coach as his reputation is, right? I think his mere presence is more of a detriment now because of how bad the media narrative is. Imagine you're on the pitch, right? You're up against the wall. You look over and you see him. And you
Yeah.
at the same time see all the headlines you read about him. All these players have Twitter. They know how the public feel about him. How are you supposed to get confidence from that guy? I just don't see it. I don't know.
You're
No.
no,
I
that's the
think come on, he's like the England manager. There's a lot of pressure on him. You can't be forcing like this narrative that
England.
this guy is gonna be under pressure, especially about the fact that he does seem to have the golden generation and he's
Yeah.
supposed to be making good use of it. But I think like we talked about the past. I think this year, I think the players that he has, the level that players are at right now,
They'll do the job.
that they will do the job. No matter how badly he picks a team, the squad is so stacked that even the backup players will put out a performance and do the job for him, I feel like. And also, like, we talk about the golden generation. Like, we've been talking about this golden generation for a fat minute. And
Yeah, dude.
they're there, and they've only gained experience if not like strengthened their weaknesses. And I feel like this year, I just feel like if we checked out the friendly, they weren't like up at it, but that wasn't even like near to the strongest team that he can field. And I have a good sense like him playing Maguire. I feel like I can look back at that. Like we shitted on him for it for a long time, but in this tournament, I feel like it will pay off. Him and Stones pairing up, I feel like it's the strongest duo, and it will pay off as a defensive duo.
As long as he just plays like the best players, man, it can't be that hard. It can't be that hard, man. But that's where these guys probably have the best point. Like he won't play the best players. He's gonna bring Henderson. That in itself,
I don't think he's gonna play him though. He might bring him,
but
but
bringing that's a whole spot, bro. That's a whole spot. You could be bringing like a dynamic midfielder that could change the
I
game.
understand.
So
I understand
now
the
that we're
component-
here,
Yeah.
sorry, finish, and then we'll get into
I
it.
understand the component of him bringing Henderson. There's a huge point of having leaders in the group, especially like if you're
I think the leaders thing. I think the leaders thing has to stop, dude. The leaders thing has not worked in the past.
Henderson has won. He's won what international tournament?
Dude, I mean, we shit on him, yes, but there must be a reason this man's making it to this squad. And I don't know what he's doing back in the scenes, but he's doing something.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on England winning. I also disagree with so much about England.
Play football far too many times. He does not belong in the squad. That's my personal opinion.
I know.
I think that if you're going to count out guys like James Ward-Prowse, who arguably have the same amount of experience, minus, Ward-Prowse isn't really being carried by an insane Liverpool squad, trophies like the Champions League, like the Premier League. They're the same player, but Ward-Prowse is actually more technically gifted. He's better, honestly. And so I really don't see the argument like Faris is saying. Look, you're not going to – everybody at this tournament is experienced enough to go win this thing. You don't need Henderson to go win the tournament. You need a good manager that plays the right sides, that gives you the right tactics, and you need a squad of the 11 best with the best substitutes, with the best reserves, so that no matter what, it's next man up until the tournament's over.
Dude, can I share?
That's pretty fair.
Can I share a fun little fact about Henderson's call-up? The Dutch team called up 0 Ajax players. The England squad has more Ajax players than the Dutch squad. Can you imagine?
That's insane.
Can you imagine the nepotism going on? And let's talk about another thing, right? So, Nibs, your point is Henderson brings leadership to this team to maybe help players overcome mental hurdles, yada, yada, yada. What has been the biggest criticism of England the last couple of years? Mental hurdles. Why does Harry Kane miss that penalty against France if Hendo's coaching him mentally? Like why are they dropping a 1-0 lead against Italy?
I'm not expecting
that's too
I'll say this.
tacky.
You know what I'm saying? Like obviously it's insane to expect Henderson's presence to do those things. So why are we bringing him as a mere presence to help this team? He's not doing. He can't fix
But like
these
what
things.
also what I don't get is like in the past golden generation, people are like, oh, the Man United players aren't friends with the Chelsea players and they're not friends with the Liverpool players. But now this generation, everyone's really good friends.
Yeah.
And both times they haven't done anything. It's like that can't like this can't be the problem in this
I
team.
really think this is the year, bro. This is the year.
I do too. I
it's gonna
think just
come
out of
together.
like I think the players literally will be like, we have to win this or it's over.
Look,
Like, it's
yeah,
genuinely
it
over.
I
really
also
is.
want to redirect our attention back to France. I think we
Mhm.
glossed over them way too quickly. Look, we
Mhm.
go back to 2022. Everybody counted that squad out once we heard about the Nkunku injury, I think it was a Benzema injury. We saw all their sorry, like their star guys go down.
Mhm.
I didn't hear a thing about France until it was like, oh, okay, you know what? They're in the quarters now. You know, we were expecting that, but it's going to wrap up soon. Then semis, and then final. I think that at that point, I was scared of France. You know, I was Team Messi trying to see that fairy tale ending, but at the same time, I was terrified of that man Mbappe, and
Yeah.
I feel like right now more than ever, he's kind of a villain right now in the media, and I just am scared to see what he comes out and does. I feel like we might just see a player we've never seen before. And if he, you know, honestly takes it upon himself to lead this team to a trophy, he's in the GOAT conversation 100%.
Are you still with Germany though? Is that Germany still your pick?
I almost will say that I think that the only team that can beat them is France. But I'll still say Germany's the strongest side, given all the things we touched on. The host country, I think they're in the right period, the right era, the right manager, the right location, and all that. I'll still give it to Germany, but I do think that I would not be surprised if France went ahead and blew everybody out of the water this entire tournament.
Mbappe and Griezmann. Those are the two guys. If I'm any player going to the Euros this summer, I'm having nightmares about them. Mbappe is on 40-something goals in less games this season so far. And I personally think this villain mode is because he's on a mission to prove he can win before he goes to Madrid.
Yeah.
And I think for his career, he needs that. Like, so he's not labeled this KD guy, oh, like you couldn't win alone. You need to go join the Galacticos to win stuff. I think he's going to make it a point to either get this Champions League or to get this Euro, which sounds crazy that a player can just will himself to do these things. But we saw in that final in December 2022 just what he can do when he locks in. And
my bad.
No, you're good. And then Griezmann, I'll always say, like, if you saw what he did
that team, bro.
leading up to that final, it was insane. And if he could even do a fraction of that, I worry for everyone.
And speaking on the Galacticos, you know, France's midfield is essentially that Tchouaméni, Camavinga. I mean, I don't even care who's in the third spot. That's probably the best midfield in the tournament. You know, you can give it to England with Bellingham and Rice, but I just know
and Gallagher.
When you got two guys that play together for club and country, with that club being Real Madrid, whoever's on the other side is in trouble. And I think that we're all so focused on the attack. This midfield is a problem too. The defense, I agree with you, Ifti. It's a little suspect. If it comes together, I really think that's the only way they'll lose this tournament. Conceding 2 to Germany in 90 minutes is going to be their kryptonite. They can't do that in the real tournament.
And the way they conceded, and they could have had more. It was just like easy, a ball over the top. They're confused.
Yeah, it was a bit like
when
just
they
low energy.
that's going to change. I'll tell you that. But other than that, if they sort that out, I really do think that
maybe I just want England to win. Like I don't even think they will. I just want them to win. I don't know why. Premier League bias. Like I like seeing my players play.
Let's talk about this England squad. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Faris generously has created a beautiful little spreadsheet for us to look at, with details about every position, the players that have been picked by Southgate, the players left out. Out of this list, what we're gonna do now is kind of pick our starter for this tournament, assuming everyone's healthy. Obviously, it can be the case that someone's hurt, but let's pick England's strongest squad that we would want to see Southgate start. And if there's any debates about who should be coming, let's do that then too.
Yeah, it's possible to also just like because we have basically 2 people from each spot is coming. That'll make like 22 players. If you want to mention like the backup too, just go through it.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So
and just a quick thing while looking at this diagram, I just want to reiterate that I hate Southgate. I hate this. This list is unbelievable, and
there's
I really think that he's the problem.
there's some crimes on
He
this
saw,
list.
he saw Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones behind Gallagher, and he got pissed.
That's
That's not
hilarious.
even the problem. I see James Ward-Prowse under all three of them, and I think that that's the problem.
That's the problem. Okay, so at keeper, the four Southgate traditionally takes are Pickford, Ramsdale, Johnstone, and Trafford. Pope is hurt, so he hasn't been coming. Out of those, I'm going to say something controversial. I know the rotation has typically been Pickford or Ramsdale. I
Mhm.
like Pope better than both of those guys.
Mhm.
You want Pope like starting.
Yeah,
No. You want Pope starting?
yeah.
No, I
I
mean,
think Pickford
Pickford is
has.
clearly the best keeper on this list.
I don't think Pickford has been like something that people said, oh, they lost the game because Pickford made a mistake.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't think Pope will do that either, but I just think Pickford has been very
Premier
solid.
League for God knows how many seasons now. I think that honestly, when he plays for England and for club, he does a good job. I see Ramsdale being very suspect in goal, especially on the international level. I think Pickford and Pope kind of give me the same like sense of comfort in goal, but I think Pickford's more talented.
Also,
Yeah.
Pickford's been better for England than Everton. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
true. And he has a
Yeah.
better relationship with everyone on that squad. I think that counts for something. So I get it. But I think just goalkeeper for goalkeeper, I like Pope better, but it seems the
I feel
consensus.
you on that.
Well, I'll say shout out Trafford. I think that this guy gives one more good season for Burnley. I might even start him over all these guys. But
He has the most
Really?
shot practice. That
I
boy
don't
be getting
think-
peppered every game. I'm not gonna hold you.
I think Trafford was one of the injury call-ups, so I don't know if he's going to be.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
he's
Yeah,
probably-
I
In the
just say that
action.
I really see him as future England keeper. But yeah,
That's fair.
I'll say Pickford for sure.
Yeah, I'd say keeper and this next position we're talking about are probably the least talented positions on this England squad. With the next one being the absolute least, and that's left back. Unfortunately for all of our eyes, we got to see Chilwell start at left back for
Oh,
England,
God.
and on God, I would rather see anything else at this Euros. I would rather see Sancho start at left back than witness whatever the hell that was.
Can Saka still play left back?
Yeah, he might. Honestly, I'd be down because that
No,
was
genuinely,
insane.
if they don't have Luke Shaw, they're screwed. They're not taking Lewis Hall. That's just wishful thinking. Like if they don't have Luke
Why
Shaw
not?
and they,
Why can't they take Lewis Hall?
that's Southgate, dude.
That's
We
a
spoke on
Southgateism. That's a
South, yeah,
Southgateism.
there you go. He just won't take any talented player because he's a young player.
I like Luke Shaw a lot. I think the
Yeah.
quality difference between him and Chilwell is insane. I think if Shaw
Ridiculous.
plays, then it's not an issue at all. But just that risk, because Shaw is like chronically fat and chronically unhealthy and goes down injured often. So I don't know. It's definitely a worrying thing. I think consensus here is Shaw
Shaw's
should
healthy.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I
and
think if Chilwell's injured, if Chilwell's starting, I mean, there's a serious chance that England lose because of that guy, and that's
Yeah.
how I feel about it too.
I saw a funny tweet the other day. It was like the most tragic thing about the Chilwell thing is he used to be good. Like he was actually good at the game. I don't know what happened.
It was that ACL in 2022, dude.
No, but it's not even like
Hooked him.
ability. Like it's just like he looks disinterested. He looks like he's not trying.
He lost his burst, dude. I'm telling you. He
Yeah.
lost like a lot of athleticism.
Maybe.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, injuries obviously are gonna.
I'm just speaking from what I see weekly, and this player I saw during that Champions League run, the player post injury, he's not the same. He's
Those are
not
two
good
guys,
anymore.
two different guys.
Yeah.
So how do we want to do center backs? Do we want to bother in differentiating right and left, or just go our center back pairing?
Nah, pair it.
Yeah, just do
Okay.
it all together. You just gotta take like two and then two more, right?
I got a
Two more.
controversial one. I'll go last. You guys start.
Yeah,
I'll take
Maguire
this one.
Stone starting.
Oh, damn, right away. Is okay. I know that's like the secure, like Maguire Stones has always played for England under Southgate, but I think Stones should be the only one that's guaranteed the spot here.
Agreed.
Who
I
is
think
next?
I think there's too much like sympathy for this Maguire guy, and he gets away with so much. If you watch that Brazil game,
Yeah.
there was a moment where he just straight up gifted the ball to I think it was either Vinny or
Rafinha.
Rafinha. And
Yeah.
if that happens, in a major tournament, you cannot have a liability like that playing, bro. I don't
And
know.
like that narrative that like, oh, Maguire for England is this amazing player.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he isn't. He is good for England. Like I haven't seen what I've seen at United, but I'm saying there is a level more you can go. And this is the controversial thing. You know, probably people don't want Chelsea players starting, but I think Colwill would be a decent shout at left center back with next to Stones. Because I'm looking at some of the other names. I don't really want to see Lewis Dunk, Konsa. They seem like good options, but not like starting.
I'll say that I think the best center back pairing England can put up is 100. We all know Stones is there, but next to him, I think Maguire is the best option, and I'll tell you why. Well, actually, I'll tell you why. Not because
He didn't even feel good saying it, bro. That's how you know, like his body literally
man.
said, "Wait, what
Wait,
just happened?"
did I say Maguire?
Oh my, that Maguire direct deposit hit his bank account.
look, I look at Maguire and like obviously we see the memes and stuff, but I think that you look at a guy who just puts his head down and keeps running. And I
Yeah.
think as a defender, that's the number one thing that you need to have in like mentally, especially international tournament where something can go wrong. This guy has had everything and more go wrong for him in his life, and he just keeps running. And I think that genuinely England need that in their back line. I also think that we went to go back to the left back conversation really quick. I honestly think England's best bet at left back will be Joe Gomez. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up.
Oh,
Yeah, he
Liverpool
does slot
is-
in there.
This guy has revived his career at left back. He's probably a better left back or just a fullback. He can play either side. He's a better fullback than he is a center back, in my opinion. And I honestly think he's clear of Chilwell and Shaw. So I think that if they go with a back line of Maguire, Stones, Gomez at left back, and then there's a lot of good options at right back.
clear
I'm
of
not
Shaw
too
is
concerned about
crazy.
that.
Clear
I
Shaw
can't,
is nuts.
I can't co-sign that.
I mean, watch the season. Like Joe Gomez has been filling in for Andy Robertson the entire year, and you didn't even notice, you know. And that's one of the
that's
best
true.
in Premier League history, Andy Robertson. And so, I mean, that's a separate conversation. But I mean, look, to be able to fill in that,
He'll just be saying shit, yeah.
no, but to be able to fill in that role, I really think that at the very least he can start for England, no problem.
Okay.
No, I think he has like a lot of opportunities. Like that back four, he can change like Gomez left back and then have more of a Trent play that right back role. If he's not playing, slot Kyle Walker in there and do Shaw if he's fit. You know,
Well, I have something on Kyle Walker too when we get there, but let's take it slow.
Let me go.
Yeah, a lot of people got a lot of things on Kyle Walker.
So this is both controversial and a little not feasible, but this
He's gonna
is
say
the
Ben
idea.
White.
It's Ben White. The answer is Ben White.
No way, you're serious?
Can I tell you? This guy plays right back. I understand. This guy plays right back. But where did he get signed for 50 million pounds for? His work at center back. And I think the two most technically gifted center backs that England possesses are Ben White and John Stones. And this is kind of foreshadowing my right back pick. If you go with the defensive liability in Trent, you need someone on the right side.
Adeel, man.
I can cover. That's
Adeel,
all
wake
I'm
up,
just gonna
bro.
say.
There was a Trent stray.
No, I'll address it. Look, I mean, we're gonna get into our lineup.
Yeah.
Ben White does not belong in this team. I'm gonna say that right now.
That's also
belong. That's a different word.
No, I mean, sorry, in the starting 11. I did not mean.
Okay.
Yeah, let me.
You got excited.
Near the starting 11, you have too many good right backs, and Maguire, Stones both clear.
You think? Nah. You think
Wait,
Maguire is a better defender than Ben White?
I mean,
Ain't no way on this planet.
At left center back?
At left center back, give me Maguire.
Bro,
when's the last time Ben White played there for club?
Long time.
It's been a while.
Stand out. He might be the worst right back in the Big Six. And I don't.
Wait, you talking about Ben White?
Yeah, Ben White. Out of the Big Six.
Wait, honestly,
Look,
let's not get off track. Let's not get off track.
Okay, we'll stay on topic. But I mean, this guy is not, in my opinion, good enough to go slot in in a position that he doesn't play in to start for England. I think that's totally fair to say.
Okay.
No,
But Maguire also doesn't play left center back for United. Like, he doesn't play there. It's not like he's getting reps in at United. You're asking a player who doesn't do something to go do something, and I'd argue to my grave that he is worse at literally everything besides maybe heading than Ben White.
I mean, look, I think playing left versus right center back is a much easier transition than fullback to center back because
But he start, but
nowadays you don't have to defend.
but
And
like
I know White is a defensive fullback, but I think that Maguire has just been in that side for longer. He actually plays the position. He's just gonna be a better option.
But this is where I'm saying, like, this is Southgate's fault. Like the fact
Yeah.
that Ben White hasn't played in England more,
I can
that's
agree.
his fault, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the situation we lie in today. Obviously, not only are you gonna have to integrate a new player, but you're gonna have to like first get him to come because your assistant coach wants to like talk trash in training. I don't know. We could talk about that later, but like in an ideal world for me, it's not even if I had to build an England team from scratch and have practice every day, train every day, and I had to choose between integrating Ben White into left center back and integrating Maguire, that's a no-brainer for me. But obviously, like this is the situation.
Colwell's the answer, dude. Don't look at the league position, bro. Colwell is naturally a left
Look at our
center back.
league position. White is the answer.
Listen, I think that
But yeah, let's wrap up center backs, man. It's
Yeah,
getting
okay,
too
Okay, it
crazy.
seems the consensus is John Stones is going, and then
And
Maguire.
then some guys are going with him.
Because of circumstances has to go, but I think everyone besides Adeel would rather someone else. But I think
I thought you liked Tomori. You wouldn't shout for Tomori?
yeah, I mean, look, the reality is this guy Southgate is not calling him up, and
I mean, he's not calling Ben White either.
Yeah, I mean, Ben White doesn't want to go either, so we can
Yeah.
really look at it.
I don't know if you saw it, but like right before we started recording, they had the joint press conference with Southgate and Declan Rice, who's captaining the next game.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
yeah.
And they asked Southgate again. Southgate in the first interview was like, "Oh, there's no issues. Like the door's open for him if he wants to come." This time they asked Rice, and Rice was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm gonna talk to him when I get back." He said we could really use him, but he said it's Ben's choice, it's Ben's life. I can't make him, but I want him there. So I'm hoping that my dream comes true because I think everyone in there knows that's the answer too. But okay, Stones, Maguire, we're sticking with Southgate's pick.
Yeah, so far we have Southgate's 11. We have Pickford, Shaw, Stones, Maguire. Like that, those are his guys.
Yeah, I would put Gomez on the record, but yeah.
Oh, you would put Gomez, right?
And I have a hella differences on the record. Right back. Okay, go. You guys start again.
I'll start. This might be a surprise to you guys. Walker.
No. There we go. Oh.
But don't worry, it's not because
he got.
He's putting Trent in midfield, bro. I already know this guy's whole plan, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Don't worry.
I'm not playing Walker, dude. I'm not playing Walker.
You're not playing Walker.
I'm playing Trent. I'm playing Trent, and I'm taking half-injured Reece James with me too, just for fun. Just for fun.
Why are you hating on Walker, dude?
Scratch that joke, but no, I'm playing Trent over Walker.
No,
I think Trent at right back can still do all the creative things that people want him to do in midfield, but at his natural position.
But
I think Walker. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that the issue is that works really well for Liverpool. Like when you're playing with Liverpool, when you're playing with the best attackers in the world that they've for the past 5 years, and even now when you have Darwin Núñez, Mohamed Salah up top, it's just a style of play that suits Trent, where he can just literally bomb the ball.
I think they have quality there too. You know, Rashford, Kane, Saka.
This Trent Saka connection. I like it. I like what they do out there.
I'm just saying, put him a little closer to Saka.
Nah, because again, this is where it gets to like formalities of like what a position is. Like he can do all that stuff, just taking a few steps further and then just come back and cover.
Right, but then you have to look at the fact that Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate are not covering for him in England.
Yeah.
And here you have
majority of these England games, they're gonna have like 60-70% possession until like the quarterfinals, at least in my like group stage, they're gonna be having the ball. Like there won't be really a sense of like he needs cover. Later down the line, you know, what happens. But I think for the most part, Trent should do okay with Stones next to him. And Declan Rice covering, dude, he has protection.
Yeah, I just think that, look, if you look at the rest of I am skipping a little ahead with the Trent midfield talk, but like, who's your midfielder? It's not going to be Conor Gallagher if you want to win the tournament. And it shouldn't be Kobe Manu because he's played like 5 games in his career. And I think that
this guy came with such a Liverpool, like, I love it, dude.
But I mean, I'm telling you, to play Trent out of position because he will excel there. you want a squad that doesn't look like it's their first tournament, right? And you have an issue there if you're
Is that a guarantee that Trent excels there? He's barely played there too.
He's been playing in the midfield for England this entire year since the start of the Premier League season. Any international call up, he's only been playing in the midfield.
I might have to fact check you on that. I don't know, but I mean, if that's true, I still think he's a better player at right back.
That might be true, but you have to look at the England side as well. I think getting to start Walker at right back and Trent, who can purely
that's ugly to me, man. That's too defensive at that point.
But
bro, Trent ain't a defender. Let's just keep it a
okay. You guys say your picks. I'll settle back on this one.
Okay, Nibs, go.
Walker for sure. Yeah.
So okay, I was super locked in on Walker
until,
and this is where I'm gonna piggyback off Adeel's shout on this. I jumping ahead a little bit, but Adeel likes Ward-Prowse, right? There's one reason everyone on this planet likes Ward-Prowse. It's his set piece delivery, right? He's a cheat code. I think another cheat code exists on this team, and it's at right back, and it's Trippier. And none of us have mentioned him. I think the difference
he's had a bad year, dude. He's had a bad year.
Like 3 games in a row.
He's had a bad year, but he's like Pickford, where it doesn't matter in the national team. I've seen him perform bad last year and clutch up for England. I'm not gonna pick him, but I think he's worthy of a mention just because international tournaments, things not working. You need a guy that can swing in a ball, and I know they're not taking Ward-Prowse.
I'll say this: before any tournament, I never look at Emiliano Ochoa's track record for his club. He's going in Mexico's goal.
Exactly.
Is that what you're trying to say here?
Yes, I feel the exact same way. And he's played a lot at right back for England, to be honest. So
he's definitely going on the plane.
I think he should be there, and I think right back should be an area where the sub comes in early. I don't think you let Walker get tired.
I think it's such a bad thing to notice, though, is that like his back four is probably gonna be the same back four he's played the last like 3 tournaments, and we're wondering why they haven't changed or won anything. Like it's like stagnation a bit. No, you guys don't agree with that?
At some point, you do have to change stuff. I think.
I mean, like I just think that obviously we're gonna get to the England's star power is not in its back line. Overall, compared to the rest of its lineup.
That's true.
It's very much everywhere else. And so I think that if you want to expect a greater improvement, greater performance from England, you're not going to necessarily go changing up the entire back line when all the change is coming in the front 3 in the midfield. So I think that honestly, you do play it safe. You go with the guys that have been doing this for a while. You need experience back there. Not Jordan Henderson experience, but experience.
Let's do it, man. Let's do midfield. Ifti, set it up. I'm ready.
Let's get into it, boys. There's 2 names I'm looking for here, and if one's a given. I'm pissed.
I'm gonna leave the call if these 2 names aren't.
Okay, so there's 3 positions. Typically, Southgate likes to have 2 holding and 1 a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone say it with me. Who's gonna be the guy that's advanced? It's gonna be 3, 2, 1. Jude Bellingham. There we go.
Jude Bellingham.
Put that one to the side. We're not even going to touch that one, right? Next one should be the same situation. Okay. There's a defensive midfielder. His name rhymes with ice.
He's on loan at West Ham?
Hell no, he's not. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Declan Rice.
Okay, Calvin Phillips.
Thank God, bro. I got worried for a second.
Wait, why were you worried? Who's shouting any other names?
People say crazy things, man. People say crazy things. Last position, and it's going to be one of the holding positions, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a list here. I'll read them all out just for inspiration, right? We have Henderson, we have Calvin Phillips, we have Ramsey, we have Ross Barkley, we have Conor Gallagher, we have Kobe Mainu, we have Harvey Elliott, we have Curtis Jones, we got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we got James Ward-Prowse, we got Mount, we got Eze, we got Gibbs White, we got Smith Rowe. I don't know how he made that list.
Hearing this list, I have never been more pro Trent midfield in my life.
Really?
I'm playing Mainu. I'm starting Mainu. Mainu. That's the wild card on the team.
The romantic in me.
Kobe Mainu?
Yes.
Over Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No, because I'm playing Trent at right back in my team.
Okay, I get that, but
let's not pit our young kings against each other.
All right, fine.
He said black excellence, yeah. Look,
No, I know it's a questionable shout. He's young, he hasn't played, but I think one player that they have lacked so much is like a player with a bit of composure in the midfield that
a
doesn't treat the ball
connector,
like a
someone that
yeah.
can connect the ball.
Conor Gallagher treats the ball like a grenade. Okay, like
He's not
same
going.
with same with half these guys. No, Gallagher's gonna go. I'll tell you that
No,
much.
I'm saying he's not starting.
100%.
I should say he's not starting. I should say
He's gonna go.
For me.
He's
I
not.
think-
He shouldn't start.
I think instead of playing two in the back, I think most of the defensive responsibility should be given to Declan and Jude, whatever the fuck he does in the midfield all over the fucking place.
Midfielder. He's
How-
not real.
And you want
Yeah.
like another 10?
I want
I want an
Madison.
8. I want an 8.
Oh, you want
Uh,
Matters?
I want Matters. I want Matters in that third
Honestly,
position.
Nibs, I'm there with you in that I don't think the second guy needs to be the most defensively adept,
Mm.
right? And I'm just thinking out loud. These are the names I like, and don't shoot
Mhm.
me. I like Barkley. I like
Oh,
Curtis Jones.
Mhm.
I like Gibbs White. I like Mason Mount. Just
Oh.
because of
Mason Mount, no.
contest,
philosophy.
and I like
Nah.
Madison. Those are my guys there.
Yeah.
Everybody
Look.
but Mount, in my opinion, is a solid shot.
Curtis Jones can do that connecting job really well.
Curtis
actually.
Jones does that extremely
Again,
well.
which is even more surprising that Kobe Minor just like skipped him completely. Like
Yeah. How
In-
did
in the
that
pecking
happen,
order.
bro?
That
Like,
was disrespectful, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, it really
I'd be
was.
pissed.
He should,
I
he
think
should
you're the
start
only
doing
one giving
interviews
Kobe
again.
Manu that type of praise. He just got called into this squad as a replacement. He's not touching the starting.
Oh, here's the most disrespectful part, and I learned this last week. Kobe Mainu was not called up as a replacement. He had
Yeah.
an extra spot that he just doesn't use, and he used it on him after the
What?
initial. It's the craziest
yeah,
thing.
because the injuries happened later. Like Walker left after, Kane left after. Mainu got called up like last week.
No, yeah, I knew that, but I thought
There was a spot the entire time. I trust me, I fact checked this a billion times.
Yeah, even
Mhm.
Saka left after Mainu got called up.
It wasn't a replacement.
Like
No,
if
no,
you
it
get
definitely wasn't.
stopped by nobody, you don't go in the starting 11. That's what I think.
Say that again.
No,
I said
didn't
if you
hear.
get snapped by nobody, I think it's safe to say you're not starting.
Oh,
no, I think you guys are talking about like injuries at the moment, but I'm talking like injuries like throughout, like Trent,
Yeah.
what's his name? Damn, who's the other guy that was missing like big?
Shaw.
Well, a couple other guys were missing. I think that's the only reason he made it. But the fact is, he was called up to the under-21 tournament or something.
No,
And
but
then-
that's where I'm disagreeing psychologically, right?
Yeah.
The call up happened, right?
Mhm.
So if you wanted to give a kid a chance because there was room, you do it
Yeah.
then.
Uh-huh.
A call up happened, and then there was
And then-
discussion, and then he said, "Hey,
And then
get in there."
hit in
So
there. Yeah.
it's like if I'm Curtis Jones, if I'm Ross Barkley, I'm kind of mad, bro. Like this kid has plenty of time to have his shine, and I agree he's a great player, but it was a bit premature. But since they brought him along already, I say capitalize on that momentum.
Yeah,
Let
play
the
him.
young blood run and see what happens.
I like Nibs' shout though. I just it's just so anti Southgate to have just Rice holding and then Madison Bellingham, but that could
Yeah.
be fun, dude. Because
That'd be
Bellingham can cover
so-
the whole pitch. Like he
Yeah,
can
he
run
can.
track back. He can do that job. And we put just a pure 10 in there. I don't know. Southgate won't do it. That's the worst part, man. That's the worst part.
I just really think this Manu pick was a bit of a PR move for
You
Southgate.
think so?
Like, I mean, he's not the most liked. I think that he did himself a favor there, but I don't
Yeah,
really
maybe.
plan
I
us to
agree.
start him, honestly. Like, I don't see why. If you plan to start a guy at the Euros, he needs to be in your squad in the months upcoming. And the fact that you're not taking him until there's a huge outburst about it, mainly based on aura, not on much else. Like, I think it's a PR move for sure, and I don't think you can expect to see him in the lineup.
I think it was a good distraction from the Ben White news too, and I think Southgate's the kind of ratty individual that does things like that.
Get him out of here, man. I hate this.
Yeah,
But I will say it's definitely on the cards that he does start Gallagher. As a Southgate is the
Ooh.
it's
I
on the
agree.
cards.
things like that make zero sense to me because it just shows this guy that not only does he not have tactical ideas, he doesn't even understand like what he needs. He sees a
Yeah.
guy that could run around and just thinks like, "Oh, passion." Same reason he picks duds like Henderson. He doesn't understand that, like, bro, passion isn't gonna win you games. Like, What you
And
needed
like
against Italy is someone who could settle the ball. Like the
exactly like
same
the things
mistakes.
that Gallagher can do off the ball, sure, you can maybe appreciate that. But when you have Declan Rice covering, you need someone who, when touches the ball, can pass it forward. And Gallagher like really struggles playing forward like that.
He struggles with a lot.
His detriment is that Southgate has always been the more defensive minded
Yeah.
coach. If you look at it, like I think like the goals that England conceded in major tournaments aren't like crazy like defensive faulty goals. Like they are usually like header set pieces or like crazy unlucky goals. As a defensive coach, he is like I think capable. He's able to put out a team that you're gonna have a hard time struggling to like score. But we really gotta. There's two sides. You have to be good at everything to be a
Yeah.
coach of a national team, not just defensively. So yeah, I feel like he's lacking in the attacking side.
Man, you put a vibe in my head that we'll never get now of Bellingham and like a 10 next to him. Dude, they would score goals for
Dude,
days.
I mean, look, I hate to give Spurs players credit, but I talk about someone who can deliver from set pieces, who can
Yeah.
put in a cross that could hurt, and it's James Madison too. I think to be spoiled with 3 players that could put a ball on a dime and not use any of them is nuts to me. Like, I don't know. But I also hear, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Currently, the people I've picked so far doesn't include Trent, but I really think like he is of like he's going to be good use, and he should be like coming in depending on the opposition, switching with either Trent, with either Walker or some sort of defensive changement that needs
Trent
to be
has
made.
to start. I don't care where he's doing it.
Yeah, he needs to be
Yeah.
utilized. He needs to be utilized.
And so I like Adeel's pick of putting him in that midfield. I don't think it's like going to be difficult for him to adjust to that. But my personal pick that I'm throwing in that third spot definitively is going to be Gibbs White.
Ooh.
No, I can't even picture a world where he's even in the call-up conversation.
It's not a glamorous one, but I think he does everything Conor Gallagher does off the ball, and he has probably 100-fold the technical ability that Conor Gallagher possesses. But he's not. It's not a sexy name. He doesn't play for the top 6. Like,
no, those things matter. He's right. It is a lot of politics too.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So I have Gibbs White. Nibs, who'd you pick?
I picked Madison.
Madison. Faris, who'd you pick?
I picked Mainu.
And then Adeel got Trent. I think none of those picks are bad. And I don't think any of those picks are happening. If I'm being real.
It's Gallagher. It's Gallagher. I'm telling you. It's Gallagher.
All right, can we move on to striker? And I think this one is really quick.
Yeah. Striker, I got Harry Kane.
Hold up.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I think
no Ollie Watkins there?
I think the interesting conversation here is who's your striker sub? And for me, it must be Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
I don't care what the hell is going on.
As long as Kane is not doing like a CDM impersonation, like he's playing striker.
If there's one thing Henderson accomplishes, I need him to sit Harry Kane in an interrogation room and just tell him, bro, you will never be a midfielder. Go score some goals. Like,
yeah, as long as Kane is playing as striker, he should have no arguments of him starting. And then, you take Watkins. Take Watkins as the backup for sure.
One thing I'll say is that I don't know why we're not considering Dominic Solanke. I feel like he should be called up, maybe not ahead of Watkins or Kane, but I feel like you could use a guy like him. I rate him more than I rate Ivan Toney.
There's potential to bring 3 strikers, so maybe.
I'd be there with you, but on current standings, I got Nketiah ahead of him just because the week I captained him in fantasy, he decided to forget how to shoot a football. Like, I missed a penalty, missed an open goal. Like, if that's what you do when you know everyone got you triple captain, I don't need you in Germany this summer, brother.
I just think that, like, I'm not super convinced on Ivan Toney this season. It's not because
neither. Yeah.
I just think he needs to play more, and I also don't know about how he fits into the England side. When you look at the type of striker that they traditionally play with, which is Harry Kane, which is like someone like Ollie Watkins, I feel like those guys can fill that role a lot better.
Yeah,
and so I would bring Ivan Toney. Again, with respect to him, he's a baller. He just is not my pick for this side. I would take Kane's, and then his subs for me would either be Watkins or Solanke.
Fair. I think we're on the same page there. I think
Yeah.
a little bit more interesting conversation is on left wing, where you got a
Is
chance
it?
to pick from Rashford, Gordon, Grealish, Sterling, and I'm not even gonna say the last one. Um, for me, get Sterling off the list as well. I
Get him
don't
off.
I don't need him there sticking it up. I think Grealish is a pick for a lot of boring people. Um,
Dude, Rashford has to start.
dude,
He
what about
has to
Gordon though,
start.
bro? Gordon's been
Yeah.
whooping, man.
Rashford is the single only player on that team that is the outlet that will run the channels. Kane is not running in behind.
But
Saka is
Gordon's
playing ball to
fast.
feet.
Gordon's
Gordon's
fast.
fast too. But Rashford is just better. Rashford's better
Are we
than
acting like
Gordon.
Rashford invented running in behind? Like, I can tell
He's better
anyone,
at okay, then Rashford's better at running in behind than Gordon is the point you want to hear. It's the same thing I'm
but
saying.
Gordon's better at finishing than Rashford, in my opinion. This
I
season,
don't
definitely.
know.
I just think like, look, I know we've made the point about, hey, there's some players that you don't look at league form, but
Mhm.
Rashford's has been so horrible this season. I think you need to start looking at league form. Like, it sends a bad message when you have so much attacking talent and you reward a player who's been so bad in the Premier League with a start at the Euros without any type of conversation. And I think the person who's going to suffer most from that is Anthony Gordon.
So
Look,
you
the
have
one
you
we
want
all
Gordon starting.
the
And
one sorry, I just wanted to say the one thing we all agreed on before coming up with this lineup is that we cannot start the exact same lineup.
Yeah, we're
England has
That's
been
scary.
eliminated time and time again. And we did agree that the most change, the most spark has been coming through these new attacking options. Why are we going to start Rashford? I just can't see how that makes sense. Where if it's broke, you need to fix it. And I
I don't
think
know if I didn't know Anthony Gordon had that much like
no, it's
noise
not
to him.
about Gordon. It's about not Rashford. I really don't know
Uh
if Gordon is that
let
guy.
me add one more guy to this left wing list that's currently on the right wing list.
Foden
Bowen.
or
Bowen.
Bowen.
Oh.
Bowen, I think, has been ridiculous this season.
Bowen out of position is your shout over Rashford.
I mean, I wouldn't
Or
even say out of position. You look at Bowen play for West Ham, he's just in the front three
Yeah.
running wherever there's a little bit of room. Like,
Look, he's the third best right winger in the Prem this season, in my opinion. And that comes after two of the best players, period, in the Prem, in Salah and Saka. So
Yeah.
I really do think that he needs to be getting game time. He might be better than all the left wing options. It's just a matter of if he can run that side. But I do think this is the tournament to start trying Gordon playing Bowen and even playing Foden over on the left over Marcus Rashford.
yeah, I realize I've become like a hypocrite with what I said, but I'd still play Rashford.
Southgate.
Wait, is Bowen left-footed or right-footed?
Bowen, I believe, is
Left-footed.
left-footed.
Ah, okay. Damn.
But it's not like Southgate's thinking about stuff like that, bro.
Yeah,
He
he's
really
not,
isn't.
dude. Bro, Southgate has had his starting lineup 11 set since like 6 months ago. Like
He
nothing's
wrote it
changing.
down when he got the job, and he hasn't looked at that book since, bro. He just
Now it's like, okay,
I think
whose
he's gonna
friends should I
surprise you
bring?
guys. I think he's gonna surprise you guys this tournament.
hope.
I really feel like it.
With lineups or just
Yeah,
gameplay?
with lineups, gameplay. I don't think so that much, but with lineups, I think he's gonna pick a.
I doubt it.
okay. So Faris got Rashford. The rest of us don't, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
My pick
Nah.
is not Rashford.
I got Rashford too.
Yeah.
You guys are sheep, bro. You guys are actually.
But you guys
sheep.
didn't pick Gordon. You just said someone else, right?
I
Like
just
that's
said
your
anything
point.
else.
I'm gonna pick Gordon. I'm picking
okay.
Gordon.
I think Gordon is your most sensible next pick. I'm just okay with it being
Anybody
else.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
I'll say Gordon because that would be my next step as manager. Try out Gordon. But I mean, you have Phil Foden who can play literally anywhere.
Foden out of position. I mean, he doesn't have a position, but Foden there is better than Rashford there. Also,
100%. It's not
I'll
even
say
a
that.
but I will say this in that Brazil friendly, I mean,
Oh yeah, Foden looked useless. Yeah,
Foden did not look that good on the right, and Gordon did look like he belonged there. Fair enough to him. Like he looked like he was at a level.
At the same time, Foden can literally be the best player in the Premier League, the best player in the world sometimes, and need
disappear the next time.
Right, but I mean, at the end of the day, you don't even have a guy who appears in Marcus Rashford. So at that point, I would.
We're being hard on him, dude. I don't think he's had
Nah.
like stinkers for England.
bro. Who has England played in an important game?
What has England ever
What are
done?
we talking about?
Come on, dude.
I'm just saying. Look at the options. Is like anyone else really a better option?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. There's two, at least three, if you want to.
I think we're hating on Rashford so much that we're fitting in, like sacrificing
Yeah.
things to make sure that position gets filled somewhere
Literally,
else.
question, Faris. Forget anything that's happened for England. Who has been a better left winger this season, Anthony Gordon or Marcus Rashford? There's an easy answer.
Yeah. It's Gordon. Sure. Rashford
Then
recently
why
has picked up
would he
form.
not play?
Rashford recently has picked up form. I will give him that much. I don't want to give you Gordon. I refuse to give you Gordon. Oh, I'd play Cole Palmer there.
Right.
Oh yeah, cool.
Let's get the right wing. Let's get the.
Ready for that.
He's
That's-
acting up
the second
again.
The second he brought up Cole Palmer was what I took to be the transition to the next topic.
No, me too.
Sorry,
Me
right
too.
wing.
I'm trying to guess the right wing.
At right wing, we're starting Saka. That's the end of
That's the end
discussion.
of the conversation.
That was
Damn, Faris is hurt. This is his radical. This is when he goes against Southgate.
I'm playing.
Yeah.
My first sub off the bench, Saka off, Palmer on.
What I think is a valuable conversation that we should have had. Why didn't any of us pick Foden for that midfield role?
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's an attacker, in my opinion. I would put him at the wing.
But
I only put him at that right wing spot because Southgate never has him playing that role. It's always on the wing. So I just assumed.
So wait. So this is what we squared out to. We're not starting Phil Foden. I hate
start Phil Foden. Just so the record is very crystal clear. I
Wait,
would start over Gordon.
Oh, okay, on the left. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You would play a Foden, Kane, Saka front three.
I think that's vibes. I think that's pure vibes. Now that you said that, I think I like.
I feel like you guys are like the running and behind thing. We're not taking seriously. You need that, bro.
You need that.
You have the best striker in the world, arguably.
Who's playing in midfield, bro? Yeah, he literally has a problem of not being in the box. We saw this all last World Cup.
Oh man, this is not good.
This is not
I think what we
good.
learned here is England are not favorites for this tournament in the slightest, bro.
Like, I think those guys who run in behind are somebody you add on for the last 30 minutes to get the goal when you need the goal. I don't think you start them over. They have the ability to entirely on their own run a football game. I think if you have a game where Phil Foden isn't the guy who's making everything happen, you take him off and put on a guy who'll get the goal. But I don't think it's the other way around, where you have a guy who's generational, who has the potential to control an entire game, and you bring him on for 30 minutes every game over like bum Rashford. I don't think that's what you.
This is a personal vendetta, dude.
No, it's not. It's not even. It's just if you
really
see,
not.
I've been running this Rashford narrative since the inception of this podcast.
Okay, but there's also a whole Foden narrative of him one game being good, one game being bad.
I'm there with you. I just want to say to everyone that got involved in our Saka versus Foden debate, all you had to do was watch that Brazil game to see that this guy forgets how to hoop when he's not surrounded by greatness, right? But at the same time, that's true for Rashford. Rashford hides in games. Like, and
what we have to kind of come to realization, not all of these players are very like chip choppy. Like they're not consistent.
That's bunch of frauds.
Bunch of frauds. That's kind of the detriment to England, but I'm hoping they can pull out their.
That's it, bro. I'm switching my pick. I'm taking Ukraine. I'm taking Mikhailo Mudryk to. No one even gave.
Like... gonna lift the chip, bro.
I like how there's only 3 countries that exist in the Euros: Germany, France, and England.
Bro,
Portugal might pull something this year.
Yo,
let's
respect them. They haven't lost a game since Roberto Martinez got appointed.
Dude. And they have a casual thing to do. I forgot about Portugal, dude.
We forgot about Spain, or do we just not respect Spain? We don't respect Spain.
There's no respect.
The fall off of Spain's midfield has to be studied.
Yeah,
it's not getting them.
Wait, what about Lamine Yamal, bro? He got a plan for us.
I thought he was doing Morocco. No, he's doing Spain.
Nah. They already got him. He's locked.
Never mind. My bad.
They got him.
No, Portugal's the better shout. I totally blanked on them, dude.
Dude, do you think Portugal wins the Euros and then the debate's back open? Do you think that happens?
Wait, is Ronaldo playing this year?
He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there, dude.
Oh fuck! I did not.
Right now, I am cheering Portugal the entire way over everybody we've talked about. That's
Honestly,
what we're doing. But I really do think you can't count out Portugal. You can't count out Italy. And I don't like this.
Wait. You can count out
nah,
Italy.
nah.
You
Get
can count out
Italy the
Italy.
fuck out of here.
Dude, because you have a side that doesn't make it to the World Cup, but always shows out in the Euros. And so I gotta respect that. I'm not gonna discredit them the same way we discredited
I
France.
will blatantly discredit them. Even if they win, I'm not issuing no apology on
Faris
that.
hates pasta, bro. He hates pasta.
J5, bring it home.
Oh man. Okay. I think that
Dude,
was
You're gonna read our full 11. It's gonna stink, bro.
no.
Oh,
To
God.
summarize my full 11, it actually reeks. It's like so hipster. It's Pope, Shaw, Ben White, Stones, Walker, Rice, Bellingham, Gibbs White, Gordon,
Oh
Kane,
God.
Saka.
God, that looks
Freaks.
ugly.
Collectively agree that Ifti has the worst starting 11.
Yeah.
No, but mine would win a tournament. We'll see what your guys does.
Maybe
You
not.
got-
Yours,
Any
bro, his
tournament
team
out of
sounds
100.
like the greatest West Ham team of all time.
Yeah.
Or like the greatest like
Oh,
Aston Villa of all time.
That team would walk through the championship.
It would just be like that team would finish 8th for like 10 years in a row.
Yeah, I realize after it really does stink a little bit, but I think if anything happens positively for England in this Euros, you could put it down to what Bellingham and Rice do. Because Bellingham one is like the one net new. If there's one
Yeah.
player that's improved tremendously, it's him. And I think Rice is going to cover for a lot of the defensive issues that we've identified. I do, before we move on from this, want to give a mention to some contentious people that weren't called up. First is going to be Mark Guehi. We got
Is that
center
a
back.
contentious pick?
I think like over Lewis Dunk, he should be going.
I'd be there too, yeah.
I don't think that's a crazy pick. Obviously, we talked about Tomori. Right back, there's a whole host of issues.
The Guehi one might be an injury thing. I don't want to like shut you down there, but I think he isn't
right
fit at the
now it
moment.
is. I think right now it
Yeah.
is an injury thing, but I don't think he even picks him when he's healthy.
Yeah.
to be
Knowing
honest.
Southgate, man.
I think Ross Barkley is a genuine shout. He's been
He has been hoping.
like to a ridiculous degree. We've spoken about all the other midfielders. What about Jadon Sancho?
He's not
Look,
good.
He better have the best Champions League run of all time.
I think when you look at the catastrophic state of England's left wing options, you have to take a chance on it.
You consider it.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
Catastrophic.
And I figured
Besides, dude, we have a Germany team that has Wirtz and Musiala running their midfield, their attacking midfield, and look at
Sane, Gnabry running.
we have hoopers on all these teams, and you're telling me you want to start Marcus Rashford. I think that's the time where you got to bring in players like Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho isn't the solution, bro.
I will always maintain you got to let the hoopers hoop. And if there's one guy who's a hooper, it's Jadon Sancho.
If Sancho's on the plane, I'm switching nationality, dude. I'm raising my hand.
Faris is gonna call it an airstrike. Munich Airport, we got a flight inbound.
I can't support a team that's taking Sancho, dude.
Oh man. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I think there's plenty to look back on, and enough ambiguity to where, regardless of what happens, we could come back and say, "I told you so." There's one item left on this docket, and
Yes, sir.
my God, what a topic! On March 31st, the Etihad will be graced by the presence of Arsenal taking on Manchester City in, to me, what is the title decider. I think depending on the results, either Liverpool's going to win, we're going to win, or City's going to win. I think win, lose, draw, we have an outcome for each. And if I was a bettor, I would base my bet on what happens there. I think me and Nibs should take a back seat on this topic and let the neutrals speak. Let's start with one clear thing, and that is going to be your outcome prediction and your score prediction. You two go ahead.
I can start it off. So I have to get into like club football mode again. I forgot who's even playing on those teams.
Foden.
Outcome, I'm gonna say that Man City win, and result I will say 2-1. Man City win 2-1. I genuinely don't know what teams are going to be put out. I know City had some injury stuff. Obviously, Walker's probably not going to play. Haaland like went away, but he'll probably be miraculously fit. But I think City will do it.
Mm.
It's a deal.
Yeah, I don't.
You're with me, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be different, but I can't hear. This is not the
Yeah.
place all the time. But
I hear that.
I mean, we're playing at the Etihad. Manchester City is the better squad, in my opinion. It's gonna be a win for them. I'd say the scoreline, I think it'd be a little bit less close. I'd say 2-0.
Fair,
Okay.
fair. And Nibs,
Is a draw on the cards at all for anyone?
a draw's on the cards for me. But I'll let Nibs go. Nibs, remember we're answering as podcasters, as analysts, not as fans. So
All
go
right,
ahead,
all right.
give your
If
take.
that's my head says that City's gonna
Obviously,
take
we
it.
all as fans, all Arsenal fans should believe Arsenal is going to
Yeah.
win, but let's approach this subjectively.
I think City's gonna take it. I just feel like what they've like how Pep has been kind of prepping for this game. The mentality that he's been bringing out in these damn interviews are honestly
He's been pissed.
Dude,
scaring
he
the shit out
mentions
of me.
Arsenal more than Ten Hag. It needs to stop. It's
It needs to
ridiculous.
stop. I think like they're gonna. I don't know what kind of tricks he's pulling with these international games and pullouts and stuff, but I think he's gonna come out with a team that we're just not gonna be ready to face. And especially I feel like this international break was not needed, man. I really, really, really hope
Yeah,
that
we were rolling.
Tactical break.
dude, honestly, I really hoped like with our momentum, we could have just faced them the next week. I
Yeah.
would give us more of a shout then, but I feel like this just dented our momentum a little bit, and it might have a detrimental
Momentum is
effect.
huge, man.
Bros, we
Yeah.
played QPR at a behind closed door friendly wherein Thomas Partey and Tomiyasu started and we lost 4-0 to QPR.
No shot.
Yeah, that happened.
Obviously,
Was the rest of the team
the
is
rest of the
academy?
squad was just like 15 or 16-year-olds, but like it's QPR.
Cedric played probably.
Yeah.
Cedric captain.
Look, I'm gonna my position might still sound biased, so I'm just gonna present some facts.
Mhm.
That game against Manchester City will come after, I believe, 17 days without a game for Arsenal.
Mhm. Mhm.
And obviously that could have positive impacts or negative impacts, right? Like players are going to be, not match ready, you could say, but also with the overthinker and tactician that Arteta is, I think it leaves way too much time on the clock for him to come up with something, right?
Mhm.
That's one point for me. Another point for me that's extremely positive. It will be the first game in this entire season where every single person in our squad is fit. Okay?
Oh
So,
wow, I didn't know that.
like,
Except Timber.
huh?
Except Timber. Right?
Timber's back.
Fully?
Yeah.
I mean,
he wouldn't. He didn't play.
He's
against
not match fit though, is he?
yeah, he's not match fit.
No, he's been in training. He's been full contact training for a month at that City game.
Oh.
So, like, to me, that means he's eligible to be picked, right?
Okay.
As fit as Timber's gonna get, right? Like, obviously,
right,
there's
right.
precautions with the ACL injury or whatever, but everyone is healthy. And the next thing I'm gonna say is, as much as we've gotten applause for all these crazy score lines lately, the most important part of it for me is that it's all whatever nil, whatever 6-0, 5-0, right? Our entire position in this league is based on our defensive solidity, not our attacking prowess, right? For that reason, I'm not going to predict a win. What I can see happening is a 0-0 draw. Just because Haaland's been off of it, right? You look at Foden's last game, didn't look like the sharpest character. I'd even say that I might live to regret this. Kevin De Bruyne hasn't been as impactful in the recent weeks, right? Obviously, there's been a big gap now. Our defense has looked incredibly solid. I think Raya is working off a ton of momentum after that Porto game, right?
Was the Gabriel thing like precautionary, or is he gonna be fit?
Yeah, it's all like all our guys are fit. I can tell you that. Like I know
Yeah.
guys got pulled back. Same thing for City. I'm assuming all of City's fit as well. For that reason, I think it's gonna be a very entertaining game, but a very boring outcome of 0-0.
And my response to that is why I actually see that being a very large possibility. I just look at Manchester City and I say the one thing it's almost impossible to do is hold them to no goals. I mean, I just have not seen that happen
Many
really
times. Yeah.
ever.
This
And
is classic unstoppable force meets immovable object.
the thing
And
is, if you had a Chelsea playing a 9-1 against them, everybody's playing out of their mind. Rodri still hits the back of the net. And
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like, and that's all credit to Chelsea, by the way. Like, you can have the best defensive game of your life, and Manchester City will still find a way. And my biggest issue is that I don't see Arsenal responding when Manchester City do hit that. And so
That's a good point. Like
yeah.
the Arsenal like mentality check, like to see if their watch is fake or not. If they go down first, how they react to
yeah,
that.
if we go down first, I don't think we'll win, not because of a mentality issue per se, but just because it's like not the easiest thing in the world to score against City. We're away from home and our attack isn't the greatest, right? Like what I'll be disappointed to see, and we'll all know, is if heads actually do drop. But I think
Yeah.
heads can stay up and we still don't score. Like I think that's entirely possible.
Like the one, like another thing is like Liverpool went down 1-0 to Manchester City, but they've been there before. And
That's
they've
true.
been there every year, and it matters every year. When Arsenal has gone down to Manchester City in most years prior, it's like, it's okay, we're still top four, and so like
Mm.
being in that moment in the Etihad, I think it'll get to them. Whether or not like I respect the squad, which I do, I just do think that you need to be in that situation more. And there's too much pressure for it to go the way most Arsenal fans are hoping. So if I had money on this, it would be on Manchester City.
Pep
I,
is an
I
overthinker too, though.
I
Pep
agree.
Yeah.
loves to. He might throw something crazy at us, bro.
And I think all of us can admit that as excited we've been for this game and as long as we've looked forward to this game, I think Pep has done he's been talking non-stop
Mhm,
about
mhm.
the game they played Liverpool. He's talking about us. The game they played against in the Champions League, he's talking about us. Like he has a plan for this game. I can't bet
I,
against Pep as a coach. I don't know.
I I think like just from his interviews, I can tell like Pep as a coach is definitely more threatened this season than ever before. Obviously, with how we're performing, I think that can play a role. I think that a party mentioned a deal about like whether we're gonna respond. I can almost guarantee that you're gonna see a response even if we go down. To Nihal's point, I think it may not come to fruition, but I strongly believe like how Arteta himself is going to set up this game is literally like a do or die game. Last game, if you're not going to perform in this game, literally don't even bother showing up for the rest of the season.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the team, I think, right now, I think from what I've noticed in at least from January onwards, like they have this mentality, like, hey, we need to break this team down, even if we were like struggling to break it down. Like it's gonna come. Be patient. It's less of that emotional stuff that we were going through last year, but I feel like it's more like tactical and more methodical in our approach. And I feel like there's going to be response. Like I strongly believe that there is going to be response if we do go down.
And it's the.
Importantly,
Are you
sorry.
gonna say? Are you gonna say something about March? I was gonna say something about
No,
March.
no, no, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
Go. You
It's
say it. You go.
It is the last day of Marchverts.
Yeah, hell
Kai
yeah.
Havertz's powers. Kai Havertz's
Oh.
powers are gonna literally go out the next day, dude. March 31st.
I just ask that no matter how City do it, but when
Yeah.
they get the winner, I beg it's not Oscar Bob. That's the only
Oh
wish
my God.
You have
I
Oscar
would kill
Bob beef?
myself.
I
AI
just
generated players
can't
need to stop.
stand to see a FIFA regen take the title in that manner. Like I just can't see it. I can't live
Wait,
with
wait,
that.
wait. Adeel, as a Liverpool fan, what outcome do you want or prefer?
Draw.
Ooh.
I want the
Draw?
kids to argue while we go and get this weekend.
Okay, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, a
I need to
draw.
look at the
I think a
table,
draw
dude.
kind of, keeps the scales leveled over here, while we can kind of just sneak by.
Okay, let me make it a little harder. Let's say a draw is impossible. If one side were to win, who would you prefer wins this game?
Manchester City.
Arsenal. Really?
Whoa.
Because I actually look, and that's giving a lot of credit to Arsenal. They can beat any other side in the Premier League fairly easily, unless it's Liverpool or Manchester City, and they've shown that, right? That's why they're top of the table. And I don't want to be in a situation. I always take fate into my hands over any other team, no matter who's trailing, whether it's City, because if you leave it to Arsenal, we're not going to catch up to Arsenal on goal difference. Our attackers are too injury prone. Our team is not set up to win games by large margins. We're going to play the game we play. And so I don't want to be trailing Arsenal on goal difference, waiting for them to make a mistake that I don't really anticipate coming. I think Arsenal, if they're going to lose the season, it'll be in this game. If they win it, it's going to be very tough to win the league for either of the other two teams. So I really do want City to win, and I want Liverpool to win out or do the best they can. And I think that that's their best shot at getting the title this year.
Is it a little scary that Tottenham has a role to play in this? They play all three of these teams.
Dog,
They're bringing someone down with them. I'm sorry, they're not losing all three. I can't
it'll
envision that.
probably be us because we play them 4 days after either
Bayern?
Chelsea or Bayern away, and they have 15 days rest prior.
Oh,
Look, I can tell you one thing. If there's one team that is not losing to Spurs, it's Liverpool. And I can tell you
Oh,
that
y'all got a revenge case going.
I will take our chances against Spurs over any other team in our remaining fixtures. But we are winning that game.
I feel like the PJMOL already like has the goals written down for that one.
You're getting 5 penalties that game.
Yeah.
As a sorry.
Does everyone think that this result is definitive for the title?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
I don't care what happens. In all
I
honesty.
think so.
I feel like, dude, there's still huge games left, man.
I think
No.
as a negative, like if we do lose, like if we lose that game by a margin of 2 or more, I feel like it will have an effect on our rest of the games. I think it can, and which would be kind of like a, I guess, title decider. But
Yeah.
I feel like if we get a tie or a win, it doesn't end the debate.
Oh,
Like,
no. So let me clarify. Okay. I think if City win, City are winning the league. I think if the game draws, Liverpool are winning the league. Just because previously what I've said about fixtures, I think if we win, it's not a foregone conclusion that we win the league. Just because we got
you don't win at all this weekend, regardless.
Yeah.
It's just another match.
We need to maintain.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to say, look, we're talking about this mental hurdle. We've played City twice this season. We've won twice this season. And they've been asking our players about this game for a minute, especially now during this international break. And all the answers I'm seeing are exactly what I wanted to see. Not like overly cocky, overly dismissive. It's, hey, we got bitched last year. I never want to feel that again.
Yeah.
And if the response is coming from a place of pain, I love that, because if it's from a place of like, players love to fake this confidence thing all the time, right? Like, we're a good team. Da, 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 da. If it's, I never want to be hurt like that again in my life, you are playing for pride, and I will always back a team where it means more than a game. I think for City, that mental aspect isn't there. They're not going to war on Sunday. They're playing another game on Sunday. And in the past, that's benefited them because they get less nervous. They think less. There's less pressure. I think on Sunday, that gives us the edge a little bit.
Is there a contentious decision on the cards? It's been a minute since we've had the controversy. Arsenal's involved.
I pray on Sunday, every Manchester City player is fit. I pray on Sunday, every Arsenal player is fit. And I pray whatever outcome.
Who's reffing? Who's reffing?
I don't think they've announced it.
Oh, shoot.
I just hope it's a machine for machine battle and nothing else gets involved. Because I can live with that.
Yeah, me too.
I think last year that's what it was. Like, you could complain earlier this year about the Kovacic red card that didn't happen. We won the game, so no one talks about it. But if I pray nothing like that happens this time.
Yeah.
So
good.
We got our picks in. We got our analysis in. We're at 45 minutes or just about, I think.
Oh, way longer than that.
Bro, we're like an hour 45.
Wait. Oh, it's 6. Oh my God. Holy
We did like an hour 20 at
Time
least.
passes when you're having fun, eh?
damn. Okay. Yeah,
We
nice.
didn't agree
Almost-
on one single thing.
This guy is
Yeah.
just being inefficient all the way over to the US. It's crazy.
Thank you guys for watching. Keep clicking the buttons if you got it this far. Comment, I don't know, raspberry. I'll DM you something nice. Catch you guys next week when we will know the answers to at least the last few questions we asked. Take care, keep fasting, and do your thing. Bye bye.
Peace.